So for this video, I'm going to show the Azure command line interface, and it's different from Windows PowerShell and different from the portal, so it's just another thing you gotta learn just in case that you don't want to, like, I don't know, I think you should specialize in one maybe, and or at least pick one that you like better and focus on that. But anyway, it's just different syntax in Windows than PowerShell. Azure PowerShell, like here is how to restart a VM. It's different syntax, like attributes G and group and name. And like, you know, if you're gonna use, you gotta be careful because if you're used to Linux, this is how to create variables, and then PowerShell, this is how to do it. So it's just another thing to get used to. So I'm gonna go through installing. Well, I'm not gonna actually go through it, but it's pretty easy on Windows. It's in the repository, so you could just get it there. But it shows you how to do this through Linux, and it's gonna be like apt to get it or whatever. So anyway, I'm gonna install the command line interface and then come back. Alright, so I installed it. So now we're gonna run PowerShell, or let's just do command prompt. So you can run command prompt for PowerShell. Actually, I just want PowerShell, so let's just run it here. Ever since I moved this whole PowerShell program from its default installation, it's not searching up here. I might look up how to find it because it's annoying having to come here and actually click it this way. But anyway, you just do basically, let's check that it's actually installed, you know, so you do AZ version, and Azure CLI is installed. It's up to date, cool. So now let's actually begin working with it. So reading up on the documentation of Azure CLI is that well, you know, you get to control like pretty much all the Azure resources and stuff, similar to Azure PowerShell. But here, its commands work by being structured in groups and subgroups, and so a group represents a service, and then a subgroup divides commands for the services into logical groupings. So like storage is a group, and it contains the subgroups of like account and blob and queue and table. So anyway, so like one thing, so before I showed you an overview for PowerShell, it's like, okay, how do you know, you do get help or whatever and put in the command. What you do here for the CLI is you do AZ find, and basically it's an AI robot that uses the Azure documentation to tell you more about commands. The CLI, it tells you a lot. So let's say like we just do blob. It's gonna search, and here's like common ways to use blob. So it's helpful, and you can get feedback if you want. So you could also do AZ find this command of virtual machine. It's like, okay, here's common ways to use it. You can list virtual machines by doing an AZVM list. You could put in a waiting list. You could start and stop, and if you want to restart, this AZVM restart. So yeah, it just gives you a lot. Let's do one more. AZVM. Okay. Oh, you could do it this. You could do it that. Auto-generated. Default Ubuntu. Automatic SSH. Authentication by attaching it. So anyway, that's how to do all that. And similar, there's still the like if you want to use storage, blob, there's still the help. And it tells you exactly like that. So And you know how I showed you before, we could do detailed. Well, here I guess it already shows it all. So let's start by using this. So basically, after reading documentation, it's you can think about doing stuff with CLI in terms of 3 steps. So first is connect your Azure subscription, and then you create the resource that you want to do and do all the work that you want, and then you verify that it was created successfully. So first we want to connect. So let's do AZ login. It's going to open up this web browser, same stuff. And it's enabled, it works. Here's my subscription. So it worked. And there's the ID. Then you want to, whatever you want to do. So, like I said, you use groups and subgroups. So let me figure out what I want to do. So we have our subscription. So let's create a resource group because I don't want to use the default one. So it's different from PowerShell, where instead of calling it resource groups, you just call it group and create, and give it the name, WRT, and location, and I could do ECUS like that, or you could just do it as one word. I learned to do that. And now it created it. Succeeded. Location is EastUS. And I like doing it this way because then I don't have to do uppercase E and uppercase US, but I'm sure I don't have to do it that way, but it's just faster to type as one word for me. And now let's verify that it worked. So our resource groups, and let's list them, resource groups. So we got this one, default one, and then the one we just created. Let me see if it's the same thing. Nope. Okay, I have to figure out how to format as a table. Oh, okay. I figured it out. We do output table. There, much nicer. Alright, now that's the overview, I think. Then now we'll go on to a real example in the next video.